May 13th, 1981. St. Peter's Square, Rome. 250,000 people, and one man with a gun, 4 bullets, 2 hit bystanders, 2 hit the Pope. He should have died on that square. Every doctor who examined him said the same thing. The trajectory of the bullets was medically inexplicable, a few millimeters in any direction. And it was over. He didn't die. And what happened next, between the man who pulled the trigger and the man he tried to kill, is one of the strangest, most unsettling stories the 20th century produced. But here is the thing about this episode. That story is not even the most shocking one, because for every bullet that missed, there was one that didn't. And those stories, the completed ones, ended in ways that nobody saw coming either. A widow who stayed when she should have fled. A woman who forgave the man who killed her entire family and said it to his face. A preacher who told a crowd the night before he died that he had already seen the other side and was not afraid of what was waiting. These are not stories about death. They are stories about what happens to the people left standing when the smoke clears. Part 1. The Shooter and the Saint. It was a Wednesday afternoon, the kind of afternoon that looked completely ordinary from the outside. Pope John Paul II was being driven slowly through the square in his open vehicle, moving through crowds of pilgrims, reaching down to touch hands, lifting children, 250,000 people, all of them pressing forward, all of them wanting to be close. To the crowd, he looked like just another face, but Akka was a highly trained, cold-blooded mercenary linked to an ultra-nationalist Turkish fascist group known as the Grey Wolves, and the stakes were far higher than a single madman with a grudge. This was the height of the Cold War. John Paul II was history's first Polish pope, and his fierce, vocal support of the anti-communist solidarity movement in Poland was actively threatening the Soviet Union's iron grip on Eastern Europe. Behind Akka's weapon lay a web of geopolitical chess, with rumors circulating for decades that the Soviet KGB and Bulgarian secret services had greenlit the hit. Akka had escaped a maximum security prison, slipped across European borders, and spent months meticulously tracking his target. And now he had a Browning semi-automatic pistol in his hand. At 5:17 p.m., he raised it and fired 4 shots. The Pope slumped in his vehicle, blood spreading across his white vestments as the crowd descended into panic. He was rushed to Gemelli Hospital for 5 hours of emergency surgery. The bullet had passed through his body, narrowly missing his central aorta, his spinal cord, and every other structure that would have meant instant death. The surgeon who operated on him said afterward, 1 centimeter either way, and he would not have survived. John Paul II said something different. He said, one hand pulled the trigger, another hand guided the bullet. He believed with complete conviction that the intervention was not medical, that something else had happened in that square. While he was recovering in the hospital, he asked for information about his shooter, not to prosecute, not to understand the political motive. He wanted to know who this man was, what his life looked like, what had brought him to that square with a gun. 2 years later, in December of 1983, John Paul II walked into Rebibbia prison in Rome, right into the cell of the man who had tried to kill him. He sat down beside Mehmet Ali Agca. They spoke privately for 21 minutes. No cameras inside, no recording. When the Pope came out, he told the press only this: I spoke to him as a brother. I forgave him. Agca was reportedly confused by the visit, not moved, not immediately transformed, just confused. He could not understand it. He had trained for this, prepared for this, carried out the mission with professional precision, and the man he shot came to his prison cell and called him brother. It did not make sense to him. For years, it did not make sense. John Paul II died on the 2nd of April 2005. Agca had been released from prison by then, pardoned, transferred, and eventually freed. When he heard the news, he requested to be taken to Rome. He went to St. Peter's Square, the exact same square where he had stood with a gun 24 years earlier. He laid white flowers on the Pope's tomb, and he knelt. In 2010, Mehmet Ali Agca gave an interview. He said, John Paul II was the greatest moral authority of the 20th century. I know with certainty he is a saint. The man who fired 4 bullets into a pope became one of the loudest voices declaring his holiness. There is no rational explanation for that sentence. None, only a different kind of logic entirely. Part 2. The widow